Boom. All right, what's up, you guys? It's Royce Jacob. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the lab. Feels good to be home. Today, as you already know, we are going to be discussing Bitcoin and Bitcoin miners. So let's just get straight into it. As always, we'll quickly go over what we'll be discussing and then we'll dive on in. In front of us, TradingView, where we'll be taking a look at the following names today in this order, going down the watches right here, talking technicals, talking price targets, talking short to medium term price action. Kicking it off, of course, with the king. If we're talking Bitcoin miners, we have to first establish our thoughts around Bitcoin. So we'll kick off the video taking a look at Bitcoin on the charts. We did kick off the week strong. As you guys know, the last week of November, moving into December, following a very volatile, very hectic 3.5-day trading week in the Thanksgiving week. So things are looking exciting in the short term. Things feel very optimistic, but I want to let you guys know why things are still a little sus, and I'm not completely sold on an actual reversal to the upside just yet. Okay, so kick it off with Bitcoin. Just wanted to throw that little preface in there before diving into all the charts and whatnot. After that, when it comes to actual Bitcoin miners, we're going to kick it off with the OG Riot blockchain, move on to Miss Mara Moon, Marathon Digital Holdings, and then close it out with the big winner of the day, and just a name that's been looking so damn good on the charts for, the past month or two. Even in the wake of volatility in Bitcoin, Bitfarms has been holding it down. So we'll close it out with Bitfarms on the charts, all right? In terms of news, don't have much in terms of technicals to talk to you guys about today. Just want to say, as we get into the season, the technicals surrounding, the fundamentals surrounding Bitcoin, surrounding Bitcoin miners are pretty much unchanged. Definitely Bitcoin, just the use case there, is pretty much solidified. It's just established its place in the financial markets at this point in time. Bitcoin miners, the numbers like Riot came out with earnings not too long ago. They looked great. And earnings actually should have propelled them further, which it kind of did. But in the wake of Bitcoin volatility, we are seeing just general volatility. So in terms of fundamentals, there's really not much going on. But in terms of the Bitcoin space as a whole, in terms of crypto overall, this is fairly significant news, okay? So Jack Dorsey's departure from Twitter gives him more time to focus on his passion for Bitcoin. So I do want to cover this with you guys. Again, it's not directly related to Bitcoin or Bitcoin miners, but Jack Dorsey is not only a figurehead for the entrepreneurial space, for the tech space. He's probably on the Mount Rushmore of tech. Definitely social-based tech, in my opinion, and like finance tech, fintech and whatnot. So this is big news. Again, if he does choose to go work on Bitcoin specifically, dedicate all of his time into Bitcoin, which makes the most sense, and that'll make more sense as we read over these key points. This is big news for the Bitcoin landscape, you guys. And the fact that Jack Dorsey, who again is Mount Rushmore of fintech, is dedicating all of his time to a project like Bitcoin. The guy's Twitter handle, founder of Twitter, obviously founder of Square, Cash App, etc. The guy's Twitter handle is just a Bitcoin logo. So this guy's very passionate about this, and this is not good news for Twitter. Twitter stock fell today, but it is good news for Bitcoin, and just furthers the narrative surrounding Bitcoin and the fact that so many competent individuals are dedicating their lives to working around this project and just in the cryptocurrency space overall. Okay, so do you want to read this? We'll read this quickly before diving into the charts on Bitcoin. And again, we'll just spend the rest of the video on the charts. Before you do that, though, I will ask you guys, as always, if you do go on to gain value from this video, please give it a like. Really means a lot. Subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, want to catch more content like this. Help your boy get to 50K subs. We're almost there, so that would mean a lot as well. And of course, let me know in the comments down below what you're thinking about Bitcoin right now, what you're thinking about the cryptocurrency space and equity markets in general, because I always like to get the Waves fam gauge on things, okay? Lastly, if you do want to know how I'm personally trading Bitcoin, Riot, Mara, Bitfarms, when I'm adding, when I'm reducing, along with EV plays, all the other crypto plays, Mana, Decentraland, Sandbox that we talk about here on the channel. If you want daily updates on those metaverse plays, on the metaverse equities I'm playing as well, first link down below, portfolio newsletter, a complete breakdown of my entire personal portfolio, which I do update every single trading day during market hours. And along with every update, I send out a complimentary email newsletter rationalizing my thoughts, explaining my trades, and just letting you guys know what I'm doing, along with, again, some charts in there, some real-time charts, and daily updates on some of your favorite names that we talk about here on the channel. Okay, so 15 bucks a month, 40 bucks every 3 months. If you're not signed up, what are you doing? First link down below. Really means a lot if you guys check that out. But as always, if not, no worries at all. Let's dive into this article first, and then we'll just quickly breeze over this. I give you guys my general thoughts here, but let's read this and then dive into Bitcoin and then hit our miner. So Jack Dorsey stepped down as Twitter CEO on Monday, citing his belief that the company was ready to move on from its founders, but some think the move has more to do with Dorsey wanting to lean further into crypto. That's what my money would be on. His other company, payments company Square, has made many moves to support Bitcoin, especially in recent months. Quote, if I were not at Square or Twitter, I'd be working on Bitcoin, Dorsey told a crowd at a conference earlier this year. So just to clarify that, the previous CTO, Chief Tech Officer at Twitter, is now the current CEO. The stock did get hit today. I don't know if that's justified. This may actually be better, so because Jack, I feel like, has been a lot more passionate about other projects as opposed to Twitter for quite a while now. So honestly, I think this could be good news for Twitter. And it's definitely good news, as I mentioned in the beginning, for the Bitcoin ecosystem and the cryptocurrency space overall. Okay, so shout out to Jack. Hope he's happier, and I look forward to seeing what he does in the Bitcoin ecosystem from here. All right, that said, again, good news for crypto. Nice, solid fundamentals to kick off the video with. But the technicals, as I mentioned again in the intro, are still looking a little sus. So very, very obviously here, you guys, you can see that Bitcoin has not yet broken or closed a 4-hour candle, I should say, which you guys know. 4-hour candle is like a sign that a trend has been broken, and then kind of the daily candle, wherever the daily candle closes, is just the cherry on top, is that extra confirmation that I personally use. Of course, I mean, you can see here, it did technically break the line of resistance on the downtrend from Bitcoin's all-time high, November 10th, at about $69,000. Since then, we have been in this downtrend, and just earlier today, we did technically break this line of resistance on this downtrend, but we did not close the 4-hour above it, which again is personally, and I believe in the opinions of many other competent traders as well, kind of confirmation of a reversal or just general trend direction when it comes to the short to medium term. Okay, so as of right now, Bitcoin has been rejected by this line of resistance on said downtrend, and we are still technically, you guys, in a series of higher highs and higher lows. If we were to have broken this high set on November 25th at about just 60K, I call a clean break $60,000, which we did not achieve, we are still technically on top of being below this line of resistance, setting a lower high in this series of lower highs and lower lows, okay, which is just, that's not good. Again, although we saw this crazy candle up yesterday, this looked great, this is very bullish, we're still in a downtrend, you guys, and that's the reality of the scenario. So can we see a reversal? 100%. This is Bitcoin. We're heading into the holidays especially volatile. But from a technical, just general trends perspective, we are still in a downtrend. So I am still hesitant. I am optimistic. So I do definitely think it's very possible that we see upside. But now, just viewing it from the most rational and objective perspective that I possibly can, we're in a downtrend. That's what the chart says, and that's what I'm sticking to. So I am still short-term bearish unless we see, just to play it super safe at this point. And again, the further we go down, the cleaner, or the easier it's going to be to break this resistance, because it's at kind of a steep decline. But I would say, just to make me feel good at this point in time, a clean close above $59,000 would make me bullish again, and especially above 60K, just to break the series of lower highs and lower lows. Okay, so short term, that is Bitcoin. Let's move on to Riot. And of course, you guys, the price action of Bitcoin miners is going to be heavily dependent on that of Bitcoin, if not more volatile, on top of just the performance of the general equity markets, the S&P and NASDAQ primarily. So keep that in mind. I mean, it's the winter months, you guys. It's the holiday season. We thrive during the holiday season, but just stay on your toes, because, I mean, especially now, the macro trend is what matters, okay? And the day-to-day price action, you shouldn't be too shooken up by that. So in all honesty, Bitcoin miners, I want to be bullish, and I honestly am bullish, but objectively, Bitcoin is still technically in a downtrend. I'm just being optimistic in this scenario, okay? So I do want to make that very clear as well. I mean, Riot right now is looking pretty solid. When you look at Riot from just a series of higher highs and higher lows, let's draw this general, just basic trend line right there. I think that's a safe trend line. We'll just use that, okay? A lot of traders are going to be looking at that right there, but I think this, I just like doing conservative price targets, okay? And actually, we can be super conservative, because it's just this general trend from the short term plays into my longer term price target as well. So let's make that green as well. Make it bullish, okay? So Riot, on the other hand, is setting a series of higher highs and higher lows, again, following their earnings call, which was actually, investors did not like. Investors were not impressed with their earnings call. I personally was, in terms of forward-looking statements, but kind of revenue and stuff slipped a little bit. But not revenue, I'm sorry, profits and whatnot. The EPS was not as impressive as many hoped, but again, the forward-looking statements is what really matters. The price of Bitcoin is what matters most, and I mean, I think it's very bullish on Riot, you guys know that. So anyway, series of higher highs and higher lows when it comes to Riot. And again, I think Riot still has some catch up to play. So upside price target, best case. I'm not going to say best case scenario for Riot, but an optimistic scenario for Riot in the case that Bitcoin does continue to climb slowly but surely up into the right. Of course, if it goes down into the right, that is a completely different story. And Riot obviously will fall further if Bitcoin does decline, but I think the downside potential for Riot is a lot less than that of, say, Mara and Bitfarms, because they've been significantly outperforming Riot. Okay, so downside potential obviously still there, but upside potential, if this plays out December 31st as we kick off the year of 2022, this short-term trend line comes back into play. We see a nice slow organic climb back up here. This line of longer-term previous support, new resistance, I mean, this is a clean trend line right here that will definitely come into play if we see more upside in Riot. I can almost guarantee that. That would take us to about $61 as we kick off the new year. Okay, so this is, again, optimistic, but very possible in the case that Bitcoin does see continued upside. Downside, I'm not even going to set a downside target just yet, but I think that the downside would not be as significant as plays like Mara and Bitfarms in the case that we do go down into there we go down into the right instead of up into the right. Okay, so that's right. Let's move on to Miss Mara. I mean, right, just from an optics perspective, and seeing what Bitcoin's kind of doing right now. Again, Bitcoin just, I want to be optimistic, but again, you guys, objectively, Bitcoin still does not look good. Mara is printing like a super textbook head and shoulders right now. So again, left shoulder, big old head, fat head, big brain, and then the right shoulder right here. So, I mean, it's so rare that these don't play out when it looks at this textbook, you guys. So honestly, Mara, I think, will probably come down to at least 44 to 45 bucks, mid 44s, to resolve this this head and shoulders right here, considering that's the base. But worst case scenario is that we kind of play out, one is that from September 30th to October 30th. We'll just call that a month. The base here is November 17th. So worst case scenario, December 17th, if this kind of resolves itself, honestly, in a very satisfying head and shoulders pattern, WAG does a full resolution. December 17th, that would be about 28, 29 bucks, okay? So again, Bitcoin, if we do just continue the series of lower highs and lower lows, because objectively, that's what we're still doing, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see Mara come down to $30 over the next, over the coming month-ish. This is actually like 3 weeks from the time of recording. It's the 29th already. It's crazy. But over the next 3 weeks or so, if things get dicey, if the markets get shaky, which again, you guys, it's always good to hedge, so just keep that in mind as well. Just throw that out there right now. Just holidays are volatile, which can be very good, but volatility works both ways, which is the important thing to remember, okay? Especially if we're playing hyper growth sectors like this. Mara, worst case scenario, because they do have, I mean, they got subpoenaed, their earnings were not very impressive, and Mara, I think, was way overinflated. You guys know I've thought that. If you guys are fans of Mara, if you're holding Mara, if you like Mara, that's perfectly fine, to each their own, but I mean, I think Mara has way more downside ahead of it in the case that we do see more carnage in Bitcoin than Riot and Bitfarms. Close it out. Bitfarms looking pretty solid. So Bitfarms, I mean, look at this, you guys. Like, Bitfarms is just, you're seeing a classic two-wave play out right here. Again, Bitfarms did go public on the NASDAQ. I believe they were OTC for a while, went public on the NASDAQ or NYSE. One of the two, regardless. On, what was that, June 21st, so just this year, summer solstice right there, mama's birthday, did go public back here, fresh face, a lot of people are excited about it, volume is super impressive, and it actually continues to become more and more impressive, which is very impressive. But again, first big move up, caught a lot of attention. We see that capitulation, similar to what we saw, I'm sorry, because Mono and Sand are ripping once again, similar to what we saw both Mono and Sand, again, bubble up. You bubble up, the hype cycle is there short term. That bubble pops, you see that sideways capitulation, strong floor creating that bull flagish pattern. Boom, second wave initiates breakout of that bull flag, first wave. And now we're just printing kind of this, I mean, like, we see the same pattern again, you guys, whether it's Mono, Sand, we see this pattern over and over again. This big move up, again, the two-wave, textbook two-wave. And a lot of times out of this second wave, you see another mini bull flag following the breakout of the massive, of the larger bull flag. So right now, Bitfarms is in this bull flag pattern. We did technically break the resistance that we set from November 10th on the high it saw when Bitcoin saw its all-time high. And right now, we are technically in a breakout, and that's bullish. I mean, from a technical perspective, Bitfarms is just so bullish. 4-hour Stokes are curling to the upside. Now, keep in mind, the price action of Bitcoin, once again, is obviously going to be very... The price action of Bitfarms, Mara, Riot, the entire crypto sector, is going to be heavily reliant on that of Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin performs, these will likely perform. Bitfarms, from a technical perspective, and Riot look the best. Mara, honestly, still, and just looking at the price action that Mara displayed today versus Riot and Bitfarms, Mara, the upside is a lot more limited and the downside potential is greater as opposed to Riot and Bitfarms. That's just my opinion once again. And yeah, hopefully Bitcoin sees more upside. Let me know down below what you guys think, if you guys are bullish or bearish on Bitcoin right now. When it comes to short term, I know we're all long-term bullish on Bitcoin, but let me know what your thoughts are on Bitcoin in the short term, short to medium term time horizon as we enter the month of December. And yeah, I look forward to talking to you guys downstairs in the comments. So I'll see you down there. Until next time, always remember, take action, make waves. Peace.